What's up, everybody? It's your boy Kenneth, Mr. Smell Good 803. We're back here with another video today. Now, a couple of videos ago, I did a fragrance one-on-one video, and in that video, I talked about the different concentrations of fragrances and how when you go from one fragrance concentration to another, it can change things such as the longevity of the fragrance, but it can even change the fragrance profile of those fragrances. So today I've got two fragrances that we're going to do kind of a compare and contrast with that very situation, where we've got the Eau de Toilette version, EDT, and then we have the Eau de Parfum version of the same fragrance, and we're going to compare and contrast what's the difference between those two. Okay, now before we even get that started, like we do on every video, I've got to make sure that I take the time to thank everybody who's been coming by the channel, your views, your subscriptions, your comments, your likes. All of that means so much to me, and I'm really excited to watch the channel grow. Now I want you guys to stay tuned, because once we hit 100 subscribers, I might have something a little special going on for us, okay? So you guys gotta keep subscribing, keep watching the videos, and let's see what happens when we hit 100, okay? On the way to 100. Now, if it's your second, third time coming by the channel, you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, come on. You guys know what I'm about to say. Go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, then hit that notification bell. That way you get notified for every piece of new content that we put out here on the channel. And if this is your first time coming through, welcome. I hope you find some content that you like and you come back for some more. All right, housekeeping out of the way, let's get the review started. Now, the fragrances that we're going to be reviewing today is coming from the house of Rochas, okay? And these are the fragrances of Mustache. Okay? So we've got Mustache, the original 1949, which is an Eau de Toilette. And then we have Mustache, the Eau de Parfum. Now, as you can see, the bottles look very similar. Very similar style. The Eau de Parfum has more of a, I would guess you would call this more of a silverish bronze cap. The Eau de Toilette has more of the gold cap to it. The biggest difference, and you can kind of see this when you look and compare the color of the juice in the Eau de Toilette to the Eau de Parfum. Okay? And there is quite a bit of difference when you talk about the actual fragrance profile of these fragrances. Now, when we talk about moving from an Eau de Toilette to the Eau de Parfum, in every situation, you're not gonna always see such a drastic change in the fragrance profile. But in this one, you definitely have a drastic difference between the Eau de Toilette and this Eau de Parfum. Now, with the Eau de Toilette, I really consider this to be an old school, what we call fougere or barbershop fragrance, because you've got on the top, you've got lemon and bergamot, so you've got that lemony tartness, citrus on the very top of it. In the middle, you've got lavender, neroli, and violet. And then in the base, you've got white musk, moss, and patchouli. Very old school, and that's why it's actually called Original 1949, because they actually took the original formula of this particular fragrance that was made in 1949, and they re-released this a couple of years ago. This is a really good fragrance. I mean, it's good all year round. You really can't go wrong with it, I'd say. Now, for me personally, it's not really my style, because it's a little too old school for me when it comes to that barbershop fragrance type smell DNA. I don't mind the barbershop fragrances, but this is old school here. This is definitely old school, but it's blended well. I do have to say it's blended very well. It's not overly powerful. In a musky, masculine type way. It's balanced because you've got the violet and you've got some of those floral notes in there, but it is really old school. So this one, I don't really reach for this in a whole lot, because it's, like I said, it's not really the fragrance profile that I lean towards. So I was really interested in trying the Eau de Parfum, just to see if there was a huge difference. Now, in the fragrance community, this fragrance, the eau de parfum of Mustache, is talked about a lot, and for good reason, because this is something special. The fragrance profile is completely different from that Fougere. You have more of a oriental woody fragrance profile with this one. On the top, you've got pink pepper, mandarin orange. In your mid, you got cedar and rose. And then on that base, you've got benzoin, vanilla, and patchouli. So really the only two fragrance notes that these two fragrances share from the eau de toilette to the eau de parfum is that note of patchouli. Now, everyone in the fragrance community, they talk about this one because they say that this is very, very similar to a very, very expensive fragrance from Yves Saint Laurent YSL Tuxedo. Now, I've never smelled Tuxedo. It is definitely one of YSL's higher priced from their private blend fragrance collection. So I've never smelled Tuxedo, but from a lot of other fragrance reviewers that I've seen here on YouTube and talked about in fragrance community, they say that this is very, very similar to YSL's Tuxedo, but at a much, much more affordable price. Now, this one, I can see this being leaning more towards cooler months. I think you can get away with it kind of in the spring, maybe in climate controlled environments where maybe 1 or 2 sprays is all you're going to really be doing, because I think more than that, you have a chance of choking someone out and this fragrance becoming cloying. So I really wouldn't suggest this one to be more of a year-round fragrance. I think that's going to really kind of go towards the more of the eau de toilette, where this is more forgiving. This is more of a year-round, kind of safe to, you know, use year-round. You really don't have to worry about the weather conditions, heat or coolness so much for this one. But this one, I think, shines much more in your cooler weather and in more climate-controlled environments. Like I said, when you're talking about comparing eau de parfum to eau de toilette, whether you're talking about other brands such as Sauvage, because you've got the eau de parfum, eau de toilette, parfum, same thing with Bleu de Chanel. Now, with those, you don't see that stark of a difference between the eau de toilette and the eau de parfum. You can kind of smell the same DNA from one to the other. But this is one of those situations where just going from an eau de toilette concentration into the eau de parfum concentration, it's an entirely different fragrance profile. So that does happen sometimes. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to actually review these two fragrances, to kind of show you really what I mean by that. Now, like I said, this is a great one, everyday wear. You know, like I said, that barbershop lemony kind of smell to it, lasts a good long time. This is awesome. It's more of a, I won't say dress up, but I don't really see myself wearing this with some, you know, jeans and a t-shirt. You know, I feel like I have to, you know, have on a pair of slacks when I put this one on. It's just something about this is just really date night appropriate, I think. You can definitely get away with this date night. This is going to be awesome for a date night. But yeah, these are the two here. And like I said, you know, even though the eau de toilette really isn't more of my style, it's still a great fragrance. I really do prefer the eau de parfum over the eau de toilette, but these are both great fragrances. Both are very inexpensive as well. Price points, you're going to be probably looking at anywhere between $35 to $45 for each one of these. I think the eau de toilette is actually a little bit less than that price range. So around that 35 to 45, you're probably looking at the eau de parfum. Maybe a little bit more than that, but not much more. Eau de toilette probably can be had anywhere between 25 to 30. So great price points as usual. You know me, I'm always looking for a great deal, so these definitely fit that mold. But that's it for this video. Thank you guys for joining in. Remember, check me out on social media, Instagram, Mr. Smellgood 803. Make sure you guys smash that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. It's your boy Kenneth, Mr. Smellgood 803, and we're out. Peace.